Hi, good afternoon. Today is day 89 of the Daily Spark questions, and today's question says, what opens when I stop insisting on where experience belongs? Belongs is in quotes. What opens when I stop insisting on where experience belongs? I think all this means, what this is talking about, is just when we have to make sense of everything in the moment. Like, why did this happen? How did we get here? Where are we going? Based on what's happening now. And god dang it, I like to do that as a human. What opens when I stop insisting? Well, I think I talked about this before, maybe, and in one of these other questions in a different context. It's like, there's a point of like resistance, friction, confusion energy in me. Like, if I were to just stop that, the moment where I think about stopping is where I experience this. But then when I just stop, everything softens and lets go, and I don't have to make sense of it. It was just a happening. Move on, you know. That's what opens, is like the resistance opens into softness. Yeah, everything just has a way of opening into peacefulness when I don't care about. And care is the wrong word. I don't really like to say that anymore because it's not accurate. I do care deeply about a lot of things, all the things, but it doesn't really affect me anymore. Yeah, that's not accurate either. What am I trying to say? Let me take a drink. What happens when I stop insisting on where experience belongs? I was gonna say something else and then it escaped me. Probably because I'm not insisting that I have to answer this question. Hold on, there's something here. Okay, I think I figured out where there's usually a feeling I have when something's trying to come in. It's like a wanting to say something else, just having no idea what it is. So I have to push pause. So what came in those 2 seconds was not just what happens in my own feelings, when I let experience just be what it is without making meaning or trying to understand it deeply in the moment or even after the fact, but I can let other people be free to be who they are without like categorizing them, placing them in context of something, judging. It's like when something happens that involves another person, like I'm having an experience with another person and I don't have to make sense of it or meaning of it or trying to figure out where this experience belongs. It's usually like what that means to me is like I'm trying to categorize something, like, oh, here's another one of those experiences that's like the others when I'm interacting with this one person. So it's more of this, or it's slightly different, but now it's like forming the big picture of experiences I have with this person, so that in the future I kind of know what to expect when I go into a conversation with somebody. I think that just happens naturally. It's like personality and understanding who we gravitate toward and who we gravitate away from based on a collection of experiences we've had with that person, because we have a tendency to insist on where each experience belongs. Okay, this experience that we're having is like, oh, it's more like this. It's like this type that we usually have or we have had, that kind of like, it's like, which one of these things is like the other or not like the other, categorization. Belongs elsewhere. And so what that means to me is like when I can go into conversation or just interaction with someone without trying to like what is this all about? Categorize. And it's not a conscious thing necessarily, but it's like happening in the background somehow. And if I can just let all that go, which honestly is kind of hard to show up just like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's challenging to not insist on where experience belongs. Because I feel like a lot of that happens in like subconscious, like below our conscious thoughts, because in the moment we're just working on having a conversation or an interaction of some sort, and a lot of times it's not consciously trying to like, where does this belong? But it seems to be like in the aftermath of an interaction where like something feels like unresolved. That's a good word for it. Doesn't mean good, bad, whatever. Something feels unresolved. How do I place this experience where it belongs in order to, so that my mind can make sense of it now? And it feels like when I don't do that, oh my God, it's just free. We can come together, have an interaction, and leave, and maybe never think of it again. And if we do, it's not in the realm of like meaning making. It might just be like, oh, yeah, that was nice. You know? Does that make sense? So to me, all of that points to like letting things be as they are without any expectation that they should be any different than they are. And there's a big freedom, and then what results from a big freedom is a big peacefulness, or vice versa. Peacefulness, and then it feels so free, liberating to not have to like exert any energetic meaning making, or like even reflection is exhausting sometimes, like always like playing back experiences to make sense of them, to understand like something was unresolved, what could I have done better, blah, 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 you know, whenever that tends to happen. So that's all this one. Nothing too deep here, just I think it's just a reminder just to like let everything be as it is without trying to like pin everything down, like to make meaning, to categorize, to classify. And this whole string of questions lately seems to be all about that. So it must be a big deal in the way the human mind works, which it is. It's like, you know, I'm not even going to bother saying it again, but it all goes back to our evolution. So that's it. Yeah, have a good day.